I am currently at Matlock and I just got off this train and I can't tell you how wonderful that feels. I absolutely adore the Peak District, and to be here again after, well, seems like forever to me, but after quite a long time. I think it's about a year. I think it's about a year since I come here, and to be back in this truly magnificent place instantly hits the reset button for me. This, to me, is where it all started. This truly magnificent stretch of the United Kingdom, the Peak District. Like I say, I'm in Matlock. I'm never in a rush when I'm here. I think I'm going to be here for a little while. I turn 51 years old on August the 31st. So it would be lovely, I think, to spend the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, exploring all around this place and just taking it nice and slow. Especially after the last little bit where seems like I've just been in towns and stuff like that. So this would be lovely to kind of get to grips with it. But from here, I'm going to get the bus up to Bakewell, another beautiful little town. And then from there, I'm going to jump on the Monsal Trail and I'm just going to take a nice slow walk about 9 miles to a place called Bakewell Mill, where I'm going to be staying on a campsite that I've stayed at before, which is called Beechcroft Farm. And then from there, I'm just going to probably get my head down 2-3 days and just let this connection with nature happen all over again. It's very, very needed. And I can already feel the calmness hitting me, which is what I think was missing. I didn't even know it was missing. So it's nice to be back. Okay, let's show you the Peak District. See, this is what I really love about being like here in the Peak District. I'm currently in Bakewell, which is another beautiful little town. It's about a 25-minute bus ride up from Matlock, where I was before. And this is where the Monsal Trail starts. So I've got about an 8-9 mile walk up the Monsal Trail. But I love all this. See in the background there, the whole place, everywhere you go, is just surrounded by greenery, trees, and it's just magnificent. I love it so much. Let me spin you around. Lovely little shops and stuff, little pubs, bakers, and of course Bakewell's famous for its tarts. No, not them tarts, Bakewell tarts. In fact, I might go and get a Bakewell tart in Co-op. Suspicious. He's staring right at me. Can you hear that? That is what is needed in humanity, I think. That's silence. Sorry for the breathing, but like anywhere in the Peak District and the gorgeous Lake District and probably Scotland and anywhere else, to get onto these lovely trails, there's always a climb. And that's just what I'm doing at the moment. Getting up this climb. But I tell you, nothing could pull this down at the minute. Well, nothing would pull it down. What is there to pull it down? Nothing. There's the Monsal Trail. That's it. It's an old railway line. And I'll be going along this. Hope that weren't too painful on the ears. I'll edit it out if it is. So anyway, right, here we go. Hello. You all right? And that's what it is for the next 7-8 miles. But you go across these big viaducts and through these tunnels. I'll show you it on the route, guys. I'll probably do lots of talking as well. So, you know, things are stirring and it's lovely. Lovely feeling. But as you go over the viaducts and stuff like that, you see the most gorgeous scenery that I believe the UK has to offer. So pretty here. You can really see that it's an old railway platform as you come along here, and it's all just kind of closed down now, look. And to think the old train line would have gone all the way through there. When I get a bit further up, they have signs and stuff that explain what it used to be used for, and I'll hold the camera on there for a couple of seconds. It might be worth just pausing it and having a little read, and it fills you in with what this is. But it's really nice. I love stuff like this because, you know, it's like at one point when this was being built and people were getting on the trains and stuff, whatever they were doing in their lives at that point would have been really important to them. You know, it would have been vital in some cases. Other times it would have been not important, but the mind would have been really going crazy that it was important. And all the happy times that would have happened, sad times, and I don't know, you know, all the things, all the commotion, all the noise, all the smells that would have gone on back in the day on this train line, and now it's just void. There's nothing here, you know, except the memories, the distant memories and the echoes of voices of lives past. You know, they're beautiful. Just whatever they were doing in life was both so important and wonderful to like the evolvement of humans, I guess, and also really sad because it's all come to an end, and it always makes me sort of think, does anything really matter too greatly? You know, of course it does. You know, we've got an ill family member or something. Of course it matters. So, you know, I'm generalising here, but it makes you sort of think, does any of this stuff really matter? You know, the stuff that we place such importance on. Does it really matter? It's all gonna end, you know. It probably sounds a little bit morbid, but I kind of like that. I'm very aware of my own mortality, and that's why I like to get out and live. You know, live while I'm here, sort of thing. And then when I die, we'll just experience death. Don't know if experience death is the right way of saying it, but well. Wow, so I just read the thing there, and I mean, it's worthwhile pausing that, guys, and having a little look. But it says, just in a nutshell, for those who might not be so interested but might want a little idea, it says that like 326 million years ago, apparently this whole area of the Peak District was in an ocean, so it was all submerged as in the ocean, if you like. And just over all these millions of years, obviously the water's dispersed and it's left behind this, but this all used to be just full of all corals and all sorts of like sea creatures and stuff like that. So it's amazing, really. I mean, how much of this stuff is ever true, I don't really know, but I just read it and I like my mind to sort of imagine that anyway, you know. So, but yeah, it's amazing to to think that there was the possibility that all these big sea creatures were once swimming around. And it did explain about what these layers of rocks are. It was something to do along the lines of like the seabed floor, which would have been this, was sinking, and perhaps the water was also rising, and that done something with the rocks. Stop, pause the video and read, guys. This is why I love trying and narrate this stuff. I think we know that. I absolutely love trying to do it, which is why I do it. I'm just not very good at it, but I hope in some sort of way it kind of is quite humorous perhaps. But let me spin you around. Wow. Amazing. Those thick layers of rock. They're really thick. They are. That's about 5 foot thick. Wow, just layer all the way along, all the way along. Incredible. And then the thinner stuff here. Hello. I wonder what people think of me marvelling at stuff like this. Hello, mate. Not that I care what they think. I think we know that by now, otherwise I wouldn't do the videos. But I sometimes wonder what they're thinking. We go, that guy's really getting emotional over a rock. But it's fascinating. It's just fascinating. And they dug, I think the tunnels were built in like 1830, something like that. And obviously it was railway tracks. But all that on top of you, and back then they wouldn't have had all the big plant machinery. They wouldn't have had all the big plant machinery to cut through, so they often would have probably had to do all this by hand and stuff like that. And yeah, incredible, really. Amazing. Is that annoying? Look, listen. It's really cold in here. Really cool breeze. Wow. Amazing. Silent. That bit there, when I just looked at that, it reminded me out of the scene at the beginning of American Werewolf in London. You know, when he's running down the London Underground and the werewolf kind of is chasing after him and he trips over and slips and his briefcase flies everywhere and all the paperwork goes everywhere as he's panicking. Brilliant. I might watch that later. Probably not the best thing to watch when you're out in the middle of nowhere, but you know, we'll see. If I've got reception, I might watch it. Great soundtrack in that as well. Here's an interesting one for you as well, guys. This bridge that's coming up here, I tried for about 18 months to get across that, and I couldn't. As many of you know, and probably lots of you don't know, I have a phobia of heights and open spaces, and it's really quite bad at times. So a lot of these peaks and that stuff, I don't ever get to the top of. I've not seen them from the top. But that's okay, because I get to see them from down here, and that's maybe why I gush over them so much. You know, it's lovely. My wonderment, my imagination fires up, wondering what it looks like from up there. But I do get near the tops. You know, if there's trees around me and stuff, and it kind of breaks up the sky and that, I do get near the top. So you know, I'm happy with. If this is second best, I'm very happy with that. But let me show you this gorgeous little scene that's coming up here. But yeah, it took me 18 months to get over this. The contours, I love it. Absolutely gorgeous. And now I kind of walk across it at ease. Isn't that amazing? It kind hello. Kind of shows you what, kind of shows you how much the mind likes to catastrophize things. It really, I would drive up here, guys, and I'd go for a walk and stuff like that. And I'd come out the tunnel, and I'd get to the end, and I'd edge in, and I kept, my body would freeze. I wouldn't go anywhere. And now I can kind of stop on it. Isn't that amazing? Perseverance. And that's why it makes me laugh sometimes when you lot say I'm so brave. I'm like, you have no idea how scared I get at times. Hello. Quite amazing, really. So I've just been stood here touching these rocks for about 10 minutes or so. There's something truly amazing and healing about touching something like that comes up from like the middle of the earth. Comes up from the. I sometimes feel like I'm talking in this way, like we're being attacked by aliens or something, but I just can't help it. But you know, this thing that just come up from the middle of the earth, and knowing that it's been there for like millions and millions of years. You know, what's it say back there? 320 million years or whatever. Look at this, look. All the beautiful rocks there and that. In fact, let me spin you around, guys. No, not that one. That one. And that down there is a long way down. It's not, you know, on the camera it kind of looks like it's 10, 20 foot. It's not. It's about 60, 70 foot. Look at that, beautiful up there. And for you romantics, there's a couple. Hey guys, just there. Truly gorgeous place, it really is. So rugged, so picturesque, the Peak District, like postcard perfect. And some people say to me, you know, there's much prettier countries out there, or there's much better countries out there with much more amazing mountains and this, that and the other. And I'm like, maybe there is, but I'm not comparing this to that. I'm showing the beauty of the United Kingdom, which has often been hidden from us. It's on our doorstep, the beauty that is here in this land. You know, and we know about these other places. They're world famous for their beauty, like the Alps or the Himalayas, and you know, all these other wonderful places and this, that and the other. So it's not a derogatory comment towards them at all. No, they are beautiful. But the point is being, we know that about them. Not lots of us over here, or lots of us over here think this is a dump. The UK is a dump, and you're like, it's just not. It's stunning. Truly stunning. When you think this is just outside Manchester, just outside Nottingham, just outside Sheffield, you know, these cities, where is everyone? You know, from London, where I'm from, in the north of London, it's 3 hours in a car. You find the most stream running down there. You just see the most gorgeous things, and we know about those other countries. That's what I was saying in the beginning, wasn't it? But we don't all know about this place. We don't all know about these beautiful places that we have over here. And because of our climate, which we often moan about, that's why we have all these different colours. All the greenery, all the different contours in the rocks and that stuff, where the rain and the sun and the rain and the sun and the wind and whatever else has just beaten and battered it over the years and just made it beautiful. And all this wonderful nature and wildlife just springs up from everywhere because of it. You know, especially places like the Lake District, the different sort of things it has going on there, because it's got its own climate there pretty much. Just absolutely gorgeous, you know, all of it. But let me spin you around again. Don't think you can see it in there. See the stream? Anyway, yeah, I hope you're enjoying this. Bit of a contrast from some of the other videos maybe, where I'm sleeping outside hotels and stuff. That's all part of the journey. It's all part of the fun. What an experience I've had. I get emotional now. What an experience I've had. It's just amazing. Get out there, guys. Get out there. Live life. Live life. You are life. Live life. What is that? Oh, shit. That's amazing. Come back. It was like this shiny gold snake. It wasn't a snake at all. It was like a big worm. Don't exaggerate, Tobes. It's a beautiful, great big gully of trees. And that like rock face there, is much bigger than it looks on the camera. Look at that. Oh, let me spin you around. Beautiful. This little beauty's been following me the whole way along that fence line. Hey. Hello. They're beautiful. It's so beautiful. It was following me all the way along there. As I'd walk along, it would fly to the next one, to the next one. They're so curious, them little birds, like cows. Well, they're nothing like cows, but cows are curious as well. They're always curious. They just kind of follow. I used to have them down at my caravan. Used to come and land on the little steps and that stuff. Actually, I wonder how they are, because I used to have ducks there and all sorts. In fact, I got footage of all this stuff when I was in the caravan, and the little animals that used to wait for me to feed them in the morning. So funny. And the day that I left, I've actually got footage of that, when I did leave it all behind. But, you know, I could actually put together a film at some point, really long, 3, 4, 5 hours of all of that stuff. It's just so incredible, everything. Anyway, shut up, Toad. Look at this. Oh, sorry. No, it's another tunnel. It's like I've seen all these tunnels and I still get just as excited over the next one. It's starting to get a little bit dark out here now. I mean, it's not dark, guys. I think it's about 9 o'clock at night, so it might not be quite as late as that. It might be 8 o'clock, something like that. But the sun's gone down anyway, so it's starting to get a bit dark. So I'm keeping one eye open, of course, for somewhere to sleep. Now the good thing is tonight, I've got a campsite that I can go and stay on if I want to, but it's still probably about another hour's walk away yet. And I sorted it out earlier on. It's actually called a place called Beechcroft Farm Camping. Now I stayed there last year when I first started this journey. That's kind of why I'm going back there this time. And one of the girls there, Jodie, she's a subscriber to the channel. So hello Jodie, I'll see you soon. So yeah, I phoned her up and said to her I'm going to come by. Their last check-in is at 6 o'clock, but she did say that if I get there I can go on one of their fields and just come and see them in the morning type thing. So I said to her, well, I don't know if I will be there tonight or not. If I see somewhere en route, don't forget this route originally for where I started to get there was about 3 hours walk, 3.5 hours walk. So I thought if I see somewhere en route, then I'll stop and spend the night out here and then go and see them in the morning, have a shower and that stuff. It's a lovely campsite, guys. And then go and have a shower in the morning. But if I don't see anywhere that I don't want to stay out here, it's very easy for me in the Peak District to find somewhere to sleep. I mean, I would literally set my tent up over there. I'm not fussed. But I don't want to. I want to sort of keep walking. I'm enjoying the walk. So, but yeah, if I don't see anywhere, then I'll just go straight to theirs and stay there the night. So it's a lovely walk. It's a lovely feeling knowing that it's a lot easier for me to find somewhere out here to sleep. I mean, you still have to be a little bit careful, you know, you're still on your own in a tent out in the wild. So, out in the wild. I still get embarrassed after all this time when I say out in the wild. But, you know, knowing that I can relax and it's a lot easier here, and I absolutely love this place. I think you know that already. I won't stop saying it though, regardless, especially as I'm getting more and more tired. But equally, knowing that I've got somewhere to go that I can make a cup of tea or coffee, buy some food, feel safe when I'm there, have a lovely shower. It's got some nice walks around there, you know, stuff like that. It's a nice feeling. I've not had that for a long time. So yeah, looking forward to it. But let me spin you round here. Oh, that's high. Hey mate. Kind of took me by surprise, the drop on that. But yeah, there you go. And just for the record, just out of interest, several years ago, well, probably about 5 years ago, guys, I wouldn't have been able to walk past an open area the size of probably 2 football pitches. So it took a lot of work. It's a shame it's all shut. I've had a cup of tea in here before. It's nice, this little place. But thankfully the toilets are open. I'm busting for a wee, so that's quite good. It's pretty cool. These little grounds here. I mean, it's a shame it's being worked on. There's probably little green areas there I could put the tent up at. I could pitch it anywhere along there, really. It's a little bit out in the open. There are cameras there, and it is people's kind of place where they're working and stuff. So you'd be a little bit respectful. But I might have a little stroll because it's got the toilets. I mean, they're still open. It's nice. That kind of thing is kind of handy, you know. And there's canteen here. Look, there's canteen now. I've had coffees in there before and tea, bacon sandwich and whatever. I don't know what time it opens, but you know, things like that are always little. They're little like bonuses, you know. You're sleeping around somewhere, and in the morning you've got that to go to. It's lovely. Wake up, go to the toilet, brush your teeth, have a wash, grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, then walk off to a campsite. Walk off to the campsite, have a shower, set the tent up, you know, go out and explore, leave my big pack where it is. It's kind of a lot more of a functioning life that way around. Beautiful, you know. So, but then at some point I will be exploring out again, and sleeping out in probably the towns, getting caught out, making mistakes and all that is all part of the journey that I love. It honestly is. Even if at the time they're not. Well, some of them are just a lot of fun, and that's also the problem though. I find it a lot of fun, which means I kind of don't stop, and then we all saw what happened. I get myself exhausted, and it has been 14 months, you know. There's been 14 months been out here, or since I walked away it's been 14 months, and you know, I've done a lot of stuff since then, met a lot of people and had a lot of things going on, seen a lot of things and done a lot of things, and you know, got over a lot of things, and just things, guys. You know, there's a lot going on today. A lot of processing going on, which is lovely. I love processing stuff. That's what long walks are for. That's why I chose to take a long walk rather than get the bus. You know, it helps me process things. And now, like I say, nowadays with my life, the things that I have to process are things that are like new to me. You know, like the exhaustion that I was feeling from what I was doing was like, oh my God, does that mean I don't love the journey anymore? And stuff like that. That's what the constructed mind wanted to do. You know, kick in and say, oh no, is it time to stop? Is it time to jack it in? And, you know, oh my God, you're growing on YouTube, and are you ready for that then? Are you wants to do all these things? And I'm saying wants to because that's what it is doing. But I'm very lucky, I guess, that I can now observe that, and I know what it's doing. I know I always do this because my mind sort of appears here, you know, and it just wants to create this havoc, and it's back here, but I'm here, and that's back there, and I observe it, and I'm like, okay, I can hear you making a fuss. You don't normally make a fuss, so I wonder what's going on. Okay, let's just stop for a day or two then, and I'll give you the space that you need to tell me what's going on. I was able to observe that mind and just think, are you tired? Are you burnt out here? You know, and that turns out to be kind of what it was. Well, I've decided to keep on walking up a little bit. I mean, if I see somewhere even along here, you know, like as I'm leaving, I'll set up. But I don't really need to. I'm quite enjoying the walk this evening. It's quite mild. It's lovely to be in the Peak District. It's getting a little bit dusky, so it's about 9:15. I just had a look. So it's a little bit dusky. I can still see a little bit of an orange glow up ahead from where the sun's leaving us. You know, and it will start getting dark on here fairly soon. Next half hour or so, it will start getting very dark. So hopefully I'll find somewhere before that happens. But if not, I'm kind of happy walking down here in the dark. I've done it lots of times, and things like that around here don't bother me. So anyway, there we go. And if not, I've got a campsite to go to, which is pretty cool. It was a good job. I actually just had a quick look at the map. I was carrying on down the Monsal Trail, but I've actually got to come off here and start walking down the roads to get to the campsite. I didn't know that, so I looked at that by fluke. So thankfully, I noticed it before it got too late, and I'd have to walk all the way back again. So yeah, I'm going to head out onto the road now. I'm going to have a little walk around there. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we see something on the route. And if not, like I say, I'll just keep walking on to the campsite. Beautiful. Last year when I first started this journey, I walked down this road and I saw a cave, and I did a short on it, and I was saying on there like, oh, all our ancestors millions of years ago would have been in there, and it was just one of the first videos that I'd left from this journey, and I just walked past it there and saw it in the dark and thought, how cool would it be to sleep in that? But there's no way I'd get in that tonight. So we'll keep going to the campsite. I think there's about a mile to go. Here it is, actually. I was looking at the wrong cave. You can't see it. What a shame. But I'll see if in the video I can find a way to leave a link to that cave. Look at that up there, look. Night climbers, I think. Something going on anyway. There's a car there. don't think they're sleeping in the cave, I think they're climbing. I don't know. There's 4 of them, so maybe they are. Doesn't matter where I am, when you see lights like that up in the distance, you're always a little bit on edge as you get near it. But nothing's ever happened, and nothing probably ever will happen, but it still gets you like that. In fact, it looks like they're driving off, so it's a pity I'm not there. They could give us a lift. Look at the little cave they're reversing into though. How cool is that? Brilliant, look at that. God, that would be good. I wouldn't feel comfortable sleeping in there though. I think we're about 3 minutes away, 3 or 4 minutes away from the campsite, and this isn't the sort of thing that I'll be doing a lot of, guys. Obviously I'm going to have nights where I get caught out and have to do this, but the only reason I'm doing this tonight was because I knew I was heading for the campsite, and I knew that if I didn't find anywhere, it got a bit too dark. The campsite was within sort of like an hour, so that's why that happened. But yeah, I wouldn't want to do too much of this type of walking around late at night like this. It's about 10:30. It's very dark, as you can see, so again, the nervous system starts to kick in, those primal instincts start to kick in. Okay, we made it. Beechcroft Farm Camping and Caravan Park. Here it is. So not the healthiest thing in the world after a sort of 10 odd mile hike, but you know, it fills the spot, and I'm so grateful I've got gas to have made that. But also, if it doesn't work, if I can find £1.50, I could get myself a coffee out of the machine. So, but I don't have £1.50 in cash, unfortunately, so I'm glad my gas lasted long enough to get me this pot noodle, and hopefully there might be enough gas to even get a cup of tea afterwards. One of my green teas that I like. Anyway, let's enjoy this noodle.